kind of want to talk about these three different prophets, man, that okay, in the Holy Bible, there's enough contextual data in it itself to you can kind of see this maybe. But for instance, it's kind of like if you read Kings and Chronicles, it reiterates what was spoken in the other book. God says he always has two or three witnesses, but there's a multitude and as a multitude of a multitude of a multitude of witnesses and types and shadows and foreshadowings and retellings of previous prophecy, because prophecy isn't, oh, here's this prophecy, it's over. It's just all one continuation. It's kind of like the Bible itself, the scriptures themselves. It's just one long continuation. It's not like they say, oh, men wrote the Bible. It's not, but they were tapping in to the same spirit. You know what I'm saying? And it was God giving them revelation. You know what I'm saying? Through there's many different means that he does this with different people. But you got, while Daniel was a captive in Babylon, also I think Ezekiel, where he said I was at the river Kibar in the land of Canaan or something like that. Basically, he was kind of displaced, freaking, because no one could go back to Jerusalem. Everybody, look, you're separated from all your people. You know, and these guys knew of each other. Like, look, in their own times, in their own day, and some of their books may have been, what's the word I'm looking for? Interplay, man, freaking. Anyway, they were concurrently, like, kind of tapping into the same kind of stuff, man. But the the trick of it's like Isaiah, for instance. He I think it says son of Amos, Isaiah. And look, there's another book in the Bible called Amos. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like Hezekiah. I think there's a book Hezekiah, and he was actually a character, not character, a personage. He was a king, so he was heavily documented. That's what I'm saying. This stuff is like really precise. It layers, it shingles on one layer, precept upon precept. It's really an onion. Just when you think you peeled, you got to the heart of the onion. It's like here's just another layer there. The rabbit hole goes even deeper. But it's like the prophecy from Daniel, for instance, freaking, and he has this prophecy about the statues. But then in Revelations, you have these beasts with these horns and these heads, feet like a freaking lion, or feet like mouth like a lion, feet like a bear. Uh, if you study this text, Second Ezra's, man, it's like, look, I gave away my freaking copy actually, which is kind of unfortunate. I didn't give it away, but I loaned it out to a guy. He loaned me some of this author's books that he knew personally in prison, and he's a freaking end times scriptural kind of a dude, like analyzing what's going on, freaking. But he's another believer buddy of mine. I mean, we don't talk all the time, but when we do, we have some pretty deep, like downloads. You know what I'm saying? It's like just recently again, I'm starting to get the freaking downloads. It's kind of like the Bible says that the Holy Spirit will bring these things into remembrance. Like, so even if you're just totally fixated on life and just life's happening and you're in the brain fog and the rat race, all of a sudden, boom, it's like, look, if I was trying to do it, it wouldn't happen. But since it's not that I wasn't trying to do it, it just hits you when the time comes. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a freaking tumblers on a lock and everything lines up, and then, but this description of these are kingdoms, okay? It's kind of like people don't understand this, but because the book of Maccabees, look, I gave away also my apocrypha, but I did get a Septuagint, and this fricker is it's got a lot of stuff in it, dude, which is nice. Um, but back to the thing. Basically, Ezra's, he also wrote a book that's in the Holy Bible, so that instantiates he's a true prophet, and he was look. So the Most High was behind this, but the second Ezra's is so freaking like, man, it is such a good book. But it has a prophecy of these creatures, these winged eagles and these freaking lions and stuff, and it parallels to the Daniel's freaking statue prophecy, the Revelations, the beasts from Revelations, the beast coming out of the sea. There's two beasts, beast of the land and a beast of the sea. So I mean, look, these are all, and it talks about the sea versus the earth in the book of Daniel. I mean, like, look, there's some awesome little crazy nuggets in there, and there's a reason why they left that out of the Bible, the Holy Bible, because it says in Second Ezra's that there was 72 books that he had, and look, there was still more prophets might have still maybe wrote some books yet because maybe the Holy Bible itself, some of the because look, they couldn't write Daniel while Daniel was happening. I mean, it had to have been some years later or something like that, dude. I mean, I'm not sure how it works. I'm not a freaking professional historian here. I'm just some guy, you know what I'm saying, with the internet and books and just I like it. I like freaking these mysteries, unsolved mysteries, buddy. And Ezra said there was 72 books back then. There's only 66 in the Bible right now. Okay, but the Bible itself mentions at least four different books. Gad the seer, frickin' Jasher, what's the other one? I still got Jasher, and this other one, Jubilees, Enoch. I mean, the Bible doesn't state Enoch was a book, but they quote in the New Testament from the book of Enoch, dude. So I mean, I'm just saying, like, look, big cover up. But what I love about Ezra's too, man, frickin' he was like a real revolutionary type dude. Like he was really, they were camped out hardcore, like frickin' writing, copying manuals, manuscripts, scriptures, and he was distributing them kind of like they did with the frickin' printing press and the frickin' during the Revolutionary War. He was spreading the scriptures, and he said just to a regular dude, he would give him the 66 books that he had, or not 66, 72. But he said there was even 35 more books hidden that, I mean, man, was that it? Was it 20? I don't know, but anyway, I mean, look, the burden of proof is on you to see if I'm lying or not. It's like, look, it's true what I'm telling you here. But anyway, frickin', he was hiding in caves, frickin', basically writing scrolls. And they even find these things to this very day. They found a Dead Sea Scroll, frickin', I think in 47, and it was identical. They could parallel it, and it was not off in any words from our modern text from the King James. So look, kudos to King James for the work that he did, the preservation work, the compilation there. But they've been concealing these extra texts, like the Book of Maccabees. The Book of Maccabees explains it's not in the Bible, where the Greeks are actually oppressing the Hebrews now. Look, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and there's a detailed catalog where they were targeted, they were politically blackballed, and these dudes were out running around, kind of like when the disgruntled Israel. It's like David runs to the wilderness, and there's all these guys just pop up. They're like, "Yeah, we're mad. We're sick of the tyranny. We're gonna break away from the crowd, and we're just gonna do our thing out here." And frickin' look, they were successful at that. But it's just like, look, you wouldn't. There's a lot of hidden stuff, man. Like, look, Daniel was taken to Babylon, but look, the rest of the Israelites were taken captive in Assyria. And then after that, or the Medes and Persians took some, the Greeks took some, and they displaced, and also, man, they actually look, what was happening in Israel, it says like what they say about, oh, the black people sold the black people to us that made them slaves over here in America. That he said it in the Bible that they would do that. It said, woe unto you, man, who sell a boy for a pair of shoes and a young girl for wine. You know what I'm saying? And it's talking about slavery, sex trafficking, human trafficking, Shanghai and motherfuckers, like straight up slavery, dude. Like, look, so, I mean, look, it was either in that time, because of the judgment was so bad, either you went into exile, you went into captivity, or yeah, you either went into exile. Captivities were like you're like, okay, I'm gonna sit here on your reservation and do your bidding so you don't fucking kill me, cut my nose off, and rape my wife, and then steal my shit anyway. God did that to punish some of the Israelites. There's these dudes called the Scythians, and those are Israelites. The Samaritans and shit. Those are all these people. There's a part in the Bible where it even says the Scythian, the the Gentile, the Jew. It's like, look, there's no really differentiation between us when we're all serving Christ, when we're walking in truth. Like, look, there shouldn't be no real. Look, even though we have different ethnic origins and like ways of being, all that shit to the side, we should unite under this thing here. And it doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your freaking identity. Paul kept calling himself a Roman. The Romans also took a bunch of Hebrews and displaced them and moved them around too, dude. And look, there's not a lot of records of this stuff. Spain, Portugal were also jacking motherfuckers and taking them to different parts of the world. So we are all mixed the heck up big time, like a mixed bag of nuts now. And it's really hard. That's why look, God hit us right in plain sight. It's so crazy. It's like three card money, or that three cups with the ball in it. You know what I'm saying? He did such a and outmaneuvered all these powers, man, frickin' of this like man's fucking corrupt hunger to be the emperor of the world, to relive the Nimrod, become the Antichrist, so to speak. That's what the Antichrist is. It's like a Caesar type, an emperor, like the emperor of China, someone who wants to rule the frickin' world. But and also, that's what the whole book of Daniel's about, is making Nebuchadnezzar at the time the ruler of the world, the emperor. It kept him alive, like the mob. Like, look, like frickin', he just had a green light to frickin' show him who the real boss was. And it's an excellent story. I mean, Nebuchadnezzar actually writes one of the dopest verses in the Bible. It's just one in the book of Daniel. You know what I'm saying? For instance, but yeah, these, and also in frickin' Daniel frickin' uh he was frickin' like getting crazy visions of supernatural and angelic stuff and future events, like the reuniting of the house of Israel, where it's like the northern tribes and the southern tribes at some point reunite. And I mean, the dude just showed the verse today. I forgot about it for some reason, but it clicked into place when I seen it. And I mean, it's like the Spanish, that text that I got of Ezra's, second Ezra's, frickin', it was either like it was writ, it was they had it in Spanish. They translated it in like Spanish or Latin or something. So, and they had this stuff secretly hidden from the general public, man, especially if it was Latin. And these were Latin Spanish people, which is a double cult mentality. The Spanish loyal to the popes, which is double Antichrist cult scenario. And that's one of the reasons why these dudes, like, look, Spain knew America was here because it was in the book of Second Ezra's. The that and they also, when they came here, they knew they would find Hebrews here, and what they found was Indians. Okay, frickin', and it's just really interesting, man, and ironic, and how ass backwards, like they really like got history and frickin' like what the mainstream indoctrination is. I mean, you ain't got to dig that deep, but you do got to do some digging. Like frickin', Ezra's down, going down in the caves, and uh, copying the manuscripts, so to speak.